All right, good morning, guys, and welcome back to the Not Unusual Performance YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about two of our biggest sellers. We're going to be talking about the blackout style license plate cover that you see right here mounted on the front mount intercooler, and we're going to be talking about the curtain style license plate cover that you see mounted on the Challenger in front of us here. So these are obviously two of our biggest sellers, and for good reason, with a lot of stuff that our type of followers like to get into. These are pretty popular. We're going to be talking mostly about the blackout style license plate cover today, and we're going to give you a quick little tutorial with some of the trickier parts of the installation. Now, unfortunately, in this video, we will not be putting it on a car. I'm not quite ready to take the curtain style license plate cover off of the Challenger yet for show related reasons, and I don't really want to put one on my wife's Honda Element, although those of you who've been following for a while did see the curtain style one on the Honda Element once. So for today's purposes, we're just going to show you how to wire it up on the table, and we're going to install it on this front mount intercooler like we do for our shows. If you're interested in finding us at a show, if you're local in New Jersey, you can follow us on Instagram at not.unusual.performance, and the same username on TikTok as well. All right, so let's get into it. Let's unbox it, show you what you get in the box, show you how to wire it, and then honestly, the trickiest part, putting the license plate inside the frame and mounting the plate up. If you can do that, you're good. So let's get into it. All right, so a couple of quick things before we get really into it here. First of all, it does not look that dark in person. I will put a clip right here of it on a car. I just have terrible lighting. Right now, I cannot get the sun or my lighting to cooperate. It is a tinted plate cover, which you will see in a minute. Now, the other thing is tools. The tools that you may need will vary from car to car. Most of the cars, the hardest part is going to be actually putting the plate cover on the car. And a lot of times you get away with just a 10mm wrench for doing that. If you need a 10mm wrench, because we know those are hard to find, these are also available on our website. It's the 10mm Buddy. It is a ratcheting, swivel head, 10mm wrench that you can clip right on your keys. When you purchase our blackout style license plate cover, you will receive it in a box that looks like this. And the very first thing you'll find when you open it up is the instructions on how to wire it. We have made this as simple as we possibly can, including numbering the connections on the paper as well as on the actual connection. So 1 into 2, 2 into 3, 3 into 4, and so on. Next, we'll take off this next layer of protection, and we will see the actual tinted plate cover itself. Next layer down is all of our wiring, neatly packaged. Right behind all the wiring, you will find the actual silicone backing to the plate cover. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. Let's show you the different components to the wiring. So this is the controller. This is actually what's going to receive the signal from your key fob and tell the plate whether to be visible or not. This will need to be mounted inside the cab of the car. Usually people choose to mount it somewhere around the glove box, up under the glove box, behind the glove box, something like that. This is the cigarette lighter power source for this box, making it super easy to install. However, if you'd like a cleaner installation where you're also not taking up your cigarette lighter plug, we do include a hardwire plug in every one of these kits. The hardwire plug looks like this. We absolutely recommend running through a 15 amp fuse when you make that connection. The next bit of wiring you will see is the LED indicator. This would be mounted somewhere in the cab of your car, visible for you to see it. If the light is lit up, your plate cover is on and your plate is not visible. If the light is not lit up, your plate cover is off and your plate is visible. All right, so for the final two wiring components, we have the splitter. One end of this is going to run out to the license plate cover and the other will be for the LED indicator. And then we have the extension harness that gets the signal from this controller all the way to the back of your car out to your license plate cover. We have installed this on mostly Chargers, Challengers, and Dodge Rams at this time, and this has been more than enough cable to get all the way through those cars. You don't have to worry about it. Worst case scenario, underneath this shielding is just 2 wires, your power and your ground, easily extendable. And then as we mentioned before, we have the silicone backer. This is where your actual plate is going to sit. It prevents any rattling or scratching to your car. Very simple, easy to use on-off button style key fob. How do we turn all of this into that? Starting with the items that you will find inside the car to the right here, and the items that you will find outside the car to the left. We'll quickly go over the wiring. That's the easiest part, and then we'll talk a little bit about how to put the plate holder itself together. You're going to find a spot in our car where we don't have to see this, that we like to hide it. This can be in the kick panel. This can be behind the glove compartment. This can be behind the radio. This can be up under the underdash, like near your OBD2 port. There's a ton of places that you can hide this. In a later video, we will show you installing it on the Challenger that's in front of us, and we'll show you where we do that in that vehicle. But that's the first step. Where do you want to put this? The second step is ensuring that you have enough cord to get to your cigarette lighter plug after you find that spot. Again, worst case scenario, if not, peel back this shielding. This is a simple power and ground wire. You can extend that with any similar gauge wire. All right, there's already a fuse installed inside your cigarette lighter adapter, so this is definitely the safest and easiest way to do this. So after we've found a place for this, we're going to insert plug 1 into plug 2. There's only one way that they can fit. There is a little notch right here and a little notch inside there. Done. We're not going to plug this in yet. We're just going to make sure that this is secure where we're going to put it. We're going to make sure that this end reaches the cigarette lighter plug, and then we're going to move on to the next step, which is the Y adapter. So this end is labeled number 3, and we are going to connect those two together like this. Now we've essentially turned that plug into 2. And the reason we need to do that is that one end is going to have the LED indicator, and one end is going to run all the way back to the license plate. We are 90% done the wiring. Easy. Now, if you have done the install and you're finding that your license plate holder is not working, you're pushing the on-off button and it is not working, it means that you forgot to plug in the LED indicator. The LED indicator does not need to be mounted in your car somewhere visible, although we recommend it, because how would you know if your plate is covered or not? But it does have to be plugged in to complete the circuit and make this work. It does not matter what end of the Y adapter you plug this into, you're just going to make sure that it's the right way and plug it in, and then you will have that mounted in your car somewhere you can see it. The easiest way would be to drill the appropriate size hole, slide this into the hole, and run the wiring. The final step to the wiring, that's it. You take the super long extension that we provide. Now you will see a number 4 and a number 5 on these. It does not matter. This is simply an extension cable, and then you run this all the way back through your car to your license plate holder. You would usually do that by hiding the wire under the trim panels that run along the side. You could do it under the carpet. At a car show the other day, somebody just left the wire out. How you want to install it, that's fine. And again, we will cover more of that in just a few days when we install it on that Challenger in front of us. But that's it for the wiring. Super easy. If you have any questions about that, please drop a comment down below and let me know how I can help you. Next, we're going to talk about the license plate cover itself, because believe it or not, this is the trickiest part. We have made the wiring as easy as we possibly can. And the only part really tricky about the license plate cover, some people need a second set of hands, me being one of them. Depending on what car I'm working on, sometimes I really do need a second set of hands, and we'll show you why. So the first step, the silicone back to the license plate cover. You're going to want to note this hole. This hole needs to be facing the top. That's where the wire is going to come off of the plate cover itself. So the first step is to stuff your license plate in here. It is tight by design. You will more than likely have to bend your license plate. I recommend doing one side just like I did there, then giving my plate a little twist and a bend, and trying to get the next corner in. Again, guys, it is tight by design. All right. Now that we have it in, I am going to leave a little area at the top, and we'll talk about that in a second. Next, we're going to take the cover itself. Now, the cover will have a protective film on it when it gets sent to you. That also helps you identify which side should be facing out. But if we look closely, we can see that there's a little dome to the side that will be facing out. You can definitely feel it. The edges pop up here. There's a little dome. The back side, completely flat. That's going to tell you what side you're on. Again, domed side, the wires bend away from it. That's the front. The back, smooth, flat. If you install it wrong and you're putting the dome side down, the dome side will be rubbing against your license plate and it's not going to fit correctly. This is going to feel like it's going to fall out on you. That's how you're going to know you're doing it wrong. Again, wires facing back towards the car. You can see them under the shielding. Dome facing out. How I go about this is I handle folding this first. So I kind of just have it resting in the bottom here. And I'm going to want to fold this over the license plate. Fold it all the way down. Just make it lay flat. So we're going to just stuff all the wire in there. We're going to make it lay flat. So you can, I don't know if you can see it there. I don't know if the camera will show it. We just folded it all the way down. Then we're going to take the wiring and push it through that hole right there. Right? We'll let the wire do the wrapping. We're just going to let that yellow part lay flat around the license plate. We don't want to damage that connector. So I've seen some people try to pull the yellow connector out of the hole here. We don't want to do that. We just let that lay flat and we pull the wiring up. Now we can go ahead and push the plate the rest of the way in, and we left just the top, right? So that clicks in nice. So this is what it's supposed to look like. We know we have it installed right because we gave it a shot. We know we have the wires run correctly, but now we have to mount it to the car. All right, so let's go ahead and rewind just a little bit. Let's take it back to when we only had the wiring ran, but the plate cover was not pushed in. At this point, this is when we're gonna want to install this on the vehicle. I'm just gonna flip the cover up. And this is why it is sometimes helpful to have a second set of hands. Because when you're trying to line the screw holes up on your car, it's gonna move on you like that, like it just did on me. But if you have a little bit of patience, you can usually make it work. I'd suggest putting one bolt in so that the plate cover can rest on your hands and you have that bolt. And you're gonna line that bolt up with your car. But remember, on your car, you have to turn it, you have to spin it. I'm not spinning it right now. I'm just laying it into a big hole on a front mount intercooler that we ruined. So it's a little harder for you. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Another really important step is making sure that you're leaving the wiring up. You don't want to bury the wiring. All right, so we have one bolt in. And we're going to take the second bolt, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to line it up with the hole in the car, but remember, we have to screw that in here. I'm lucky. I just have to push it. All right? Now, once we do that, we just lay the plate cover back in the way we did. That's it. We're done. You screw those in. You pop this in all the way, like we did the first time off of the car. And then you just connect this to the wire that you ran back. That's it. You're done. This whole installation on most cars, 15, 20 minutes tops. Now guys, I know this wasn't the ideal video. Putting it on a front mount intercooler is a lot different than putting it on a car. We will swap out the curtain style that's on the Challenger now for the blackout style. Personally, I want to run the blackout style. At $124, it is a little more expensive than the $83 curtain style. However, it is a much cleaner, sleeker look. It is an instant plate hide. It's just better. And to be honest, when that plate is up, it's a little bulky. You know, this is chef's kiss. We really, really made some improvements to this one. But as I was saying, I know this is not the most ideal video. I did just want to get a video out there to help some of you who have reached out with questions. To all of those who have purchased a plate already, whether it be on our site, our TikTok shop, or at our show, thank you so much. I hope this video helps you. A couple of you I helped put it install, so I think we're all caught up there. To anybody who has not purchased one yet, I will leave the link down below. If you use code NOOB, N-O-O-B, code NOOB, N-O-O-B, all caps, on our website, for a limited time only, you will receive 10% off your order. All right, guys, thank you so much. Check back in a couple of days when we install this on the Challenger. Get a little bit better idea of what it's like to put it on a car, and you'll actually see us run and hide the wires. Until the next time, I'll see you guys later.